The objective of having a pension is to provide a person with an income when they have retired from working, basically. And how prepared are you for that day? An advocate for pension preparedness is president of the Pension Industry Association of Jamaica and also a member of the Jamaica Bar Association, Sanya Goffe. Hi, Sanya. Morning.
Hi, Delia. Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's clarify what is a pension first before we get into the nitty-gritty. When we say a pension, what do we mean?
So really, when we speak about a pension, we're speaking about a stream of income that you will receive in your retirement years. And that would be a stream of income that's as a result of you having saved during your working years, usually through some form of pension vehicle that we have in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. So is there a limit on how much I can contribute to a pension planner scheme?
There is, because there is a tax benefit attached. So there is a cap. So you can contribute up to 20% of your earnings. So what the law says is that if you're in a pension arrangement with your employer can contribute up to 10%. But where your employer contributes less than 10%, you can contribute the difference. So you can go to 10%, your employer can go to 10%. But if your employer contributes less, you can go over 10% up to an aggregate of 20%. And that contribution is tax-free. I should say tax deferred, because you don't pay tax at the point of making the contribution. But when you hit retirement and you start pulling down that income, you will be taxed at that point, subject to some exceptions.
Whoa, all right. I feel like I need to drink some water after Sanya said that a while ago. All right. But what happens, though, if my employer doesn't have a pension scheme, or if they have one and I'm not eligible to be a part of it?
I love that question. So under our law, employers are not mandated to set up pension plans. And so where an employer chooses not to, you always have the option to contribute to one of our 13 approved retirement schemes. And all of those retirement schemes, I'm happy to say, are members of the Pension Industry Association of Jamaica. And so to give you an example, a retirement scheme would be Scotia Bridge, NCB Smart, Proven Rock, VM's retirement scheme. So you have a lot of these financial service providers who have approved retirement schemes, and they're regulated by the FSC, and you can contribute up to 20% of your income to that retirement scheme.
All right. Can I have more than one schemes?
Currently, no. Currently, you can only be an active contributor to one pension arrangement. So if your employer has a pension plan, you could not contribute, maybe 5% to that plan and then
5%
additionally to another retirement scheme outside of your employer.
Okay.
Or if you don't have a pension plan with your employer, you couldn't contribute to several retirement schemes. That's the current position now. We do anticipate, though, that the Pensions Act is to be amended and that it will allow contributions to more than one pension arrangement. So that's a change in the law that we are expecting, but currently you can only contribute to one arrangement at a time.
Yeah, I look forward to it, because one of the things I find, and I've spoken to people who actually have contributed to pension plans, but almost as if they projected that when I retire, this will be able to take care of me, but then inflation hit and what they saved was not enough. And so I hope that they'll be able to do something like that, be a little bit more flexible.
Right. So how we recommend that you have what's called a replacement ratio of about 80%, meaning the percentage of income that you had in retirement, try and ensure you have at least 80% of that coming to you. Sorry, when you are working, have at least 80% of that coming to you in retirement. And your investment manager of the retirement schemes or of your employer's plan, they're able to give you a sense of a projection as to what, if you are to contribute at a particular rate, at a particular salary for a particular number of years, what that replacement ratio would look like in retirement. And so if you speak to your investment managers, they would usually give you some good insight as to how adequate it's likely to be. But you're right.
Yeah.
You can't really plan for everything. We don't know, ill health is going to hit you usually in your older years. We don't know when that's going to hit, what it's going to look like. A lot of people don't have actual housing security. Yeah. And so they have to think about if they were to lose their home or, the landlord gives them notice. There are a lot of factors that come to play. There are people who depend on their spouse as a part of their retirement security. And if the spouse passes away before they do, what does that look like? And so we always recommend that in addition to your retirement savings, if you are able to, contribute to what we call the third pillar, meaning some additional investment savings if you can. It's not always possible, but as a kind of first step, always try and ensure you do pension savings because you get that tax benefit.
Yeah, if it's possible, please do it. One of the things you're advocating for is an auto-enrollment proposal for pensioners. Why? I'm listening to you talking about all the challenges that may happen upon retirement. Is that one of the reasons why you are advocating for this?
Certainly. Currently, we have a pension coverage rate of approximately 18%. And that's when you factor public sector workers who are in the, eligible to the public sector pension arrangement. And when you factor tourism workers, which up to December was about 8,000. And recently the minister announced it's been moved up to 9,000, which is a really good move. But we're still at about, let's say we're hovering at 18 to 20%. Right. So that's woefully inadequate. I think it speaks for itself. And so what we've seen daily for the last, basically since independence, people are not taking that first step to save for retirement. Yeah. If your employer has a pension plan, you are mandated by law to contribute to that pension plan, subject to a few exceptions. And so that kind of, it's taken care of for you. It happens already. But where your employer doesn't have a pension plan, you really have to take that first step to enroll in a retirement scheme. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are not taking that first step. Programs like these, features on TVJ, workshops, seminars, advertisements on those things are not really moving people to take that first step. And so what auto-enrollment, our proposal, is suggesting that we change that choice architecture. Rather than trying to get people to take the first step to opt in to a retirement scheme, let it be mandatory for an employer who does not have a pension plan. It must be mandated by law that employer enroll you in a retirement scheme. Mm-hmm. So you now have to opt out if you don't want to stay. So it's not a tax, and I have to emphasize that. Employers are not required to contribute. All they have to do is enroll you and deduct from your salary. Mm-hmm. Employees don't have to stay. It is not a tax. If it is not a right time for you to stay, if you're not ready, if you want to do it another year, that's fine, and that can be facilitated. You can opt out. But what behavioral economics shows is that a lot of people don't opt out.
They don't opt out.
That same kind of procrastination and lethargy that operates while you don't opt in the first place is the same procrastination that tends to prevail, that you don't take the step to opt out. Mm-hmm. And so there will be people who opt out, but we expect quite a bit of stickiness just because of how this kind of human inertia operating. And if you look at countries across the globe, you've seen a lot of success in jurisdictions that have implemented auto-enrollment. Yeah. And so this is a first step. It's low-hanging fruit. It's not difficult. It can map onto the existing legislation and can really make a difference, we think, in moving the needle in coverage by maybe as much as 30%. Mm-hmm. So we could be looking at moving from 20 to 50% coverage, if not higher, if the tourism workers plan continues to gain momentum. If we were to implement auto-enrollment.
I was about to ask you what is the percentage coverage, but is that it, 20%?
Right, it's about 18%. And I think as we see the tourism workers pension plan continue to gain traction, I think that will go up. And I think with the public sector restructuring exercise that has been completed, we will see more public sector workers eligible to participate in the public sector pension arrangement. And we should see that figure bouncing up a little bit more as well.
Yeah. I think one of the things, I wish pensioners would speak up more. And I find that when pensioners experience challenges, they're almost maybe ashamed to say, I'm struggling, or to say, this is what I'm going through. But I wish they would share it, because I feel like people don't know and don't even think about it. I'm working, I'm collecting a salary, I'm okay. They never realize what's going to hit them in the future.
And yeah, Delia, I'm telling you, old age poverty is real. Yes. And I think all of us probably have a story of someone we know who lived well when they were working, they traveled, they shopped, they had a nice home, and then retirement hits and they just don't have it together because they didn't make adequate preparation. And so you're right, discussions with pensioners who can explain and really talk about real life stories as to how they've been struggling could actually make an impact as well.
Yeah. Listen, they spend the money and say the kids will take care of me. At what age do you recommend that you should start planning for retirement and start putting your pension together?
As soon as you start to work, immediately. And if you haven't done it already, today.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like the earlier you start, then the less you have to take out of your money because you have a longer time frame to save. But I mean, once you hit a certain age, when you think of, I have to calculate how much I'm going to need, it puts a lot more pressure on you rather than if you'd start.
It does. And the truth is, we recommend that when you start at the maximum because you get this tax benefit. So you get the contributions are deducted before your income is taxed. And all the accretions, all the returns on the investments are not taxed either. And so that builds and that compounds. And then you're just taxed when you hit what we call the decumulation phase, when you're drawing down that pension. And so don't just contribute the minimum. If your employer is not contributing up to 10%, you contribute that additional balance and do as much as you can. Always remembering that there is a bit of an adjustment you can make if you're not committed to the full 20%. If you're not able to, you can change that up because of life events.
Yes.
But as far as possible, contribute up to the maximum allowed under law and take advantage of that tax benefit.
Awesome. Sanya, thank you so much. I mean, we're a big advocate for it. A lot of our viewers, we want them to enjoy quality of life, and if we can raise some awareness that will make that better for them, we're all for it. Thank you for all you do and for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you, Delia. I appreciate that. Take care. Have a good day.
Pension Industry Association of Jamaica President Sanya Goffe. Do you have a pension scheme? If not, please go get one now. We'll be back after this break.